Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Today, I would like to present our research entitled on the effect of pre-processing on the classification of Twitter's flood disaster message using support vector machine algorithm. This research was conducted the collaboration between Politeknik Negeri Jakarta, Universitas Lambung Mangkurat, and Universitas Negeri Semarang. This presentation will be divided into 4 sections. The first one is introduction. The second one is materials and methods. The third one, result and discussion. And the last one is conclusion. Here is our introduction of our research. As we know, flood disaster is one of the annual disasters based on the information of Badan Nasional Penanggulangan Bencana in Indonesia. There have been 111 flood events in the Indonesia recorded during January 2020. And these pictures show us about the flood disaster happened in this month in 2020. And as we know, social media have an impact in accelerating the spread of news. As we know, there are many social media like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and others. And we know the information from the social network sensor, especially from the Twitter, is the fastest information that we get. We can get it from the news. And Twitter, the data from the Twitter is our data source. Social network sensor, or we call it SNS, is a new concept to bring the concept of real censorship to cyberspace through social media. Here is the previous study have been conducted by Zahra 2019 about the usage of Twitter message during disaster. In our study, we classify the eyewitness message on Twitter based on classes that have been determined. There are 3 classes: eyewitnesses, non-eyewitnesses, and do not know. In our research, we use support vector machine algorithm because it is a proper technique in the case of classification and regression. And then for the feature extraction phase, we use TF, IDF, and unigram. And some methods had been conducted for pre-processing phase in order to get better accuracy. So our research are focused on the effect of pre-processing phase, especially the usage of stop word removal on accuracy performance from the Twitter flood disaster message. Here is the block diagram of our research. There are many messages from the Twitter about the flood disaster message, and we had saved on data set. And then after that, we conducted the pre-processing phase where there are some experiments from the cleansing data, case folding, formalization, stemming, and stop word removal. And after that, we had done the feature extraction using unigram and TF-IDF. And after that, we do the 10-fold cross-validation in order to validate the training data and testing data. And we use support vector machine algorithm for our model in order to get the better accuracy for performance report. So the data set used in this research is tweeted about floods taken from Twitter, and the collecting process used the Twitter scraping package from the Python package. The total data came from the floods disaster message from Twitter located in Indonesia and using Bahasa Indonesia. The total data is about 3,300, and the amount of data used is about 3,000 data after the pre-processing process. The data was collected between November 2019 until April 2020. And there are the following process had been executed in the pre-processing as follow. The first one is about data labeling. So we give the labeling of the data based on the class, and then we do the remove duplicate. It is the process of deletion of the same data, and we use data cleansing, the process of removing characters that do not contribute to sentiment analysis, leaving only the alphabet characters. And the fourth one is case folding. The process is change every word from to be the same form. And then the formalization. It is the process of detecting and repairing or removing damaged data or inaccurate data to increase the accuracy of the classification process. This process aims to convert the sentence that do not or are not standard of Indonesian language, like the using of slang message, the using of alay message. So we have to be deleted for this process. And after that, we do the stop word removal. This is the process of filtering words that appear in large number or familiar, or words that are not standard and have no meaning. Or we use we are deleted of stop word in here. After that, after we do the pre-processing, we do the feature extraction is used to convert data into a structured data. The following process in feature extraction as follows. The first one is unigram. The data will be extracted into a single word. And then we do the time frequency inverse document frequency, or we call it TF-IDF. This is the process of the weighting of a term, which is taken from the number of occurrences of that term in a document. And after the feature extraction process, we continued with the key-fold cross-validation, and we chosen 10-fold cross-validation. In order, we divided the actual sample into 10 as sample of the same size for validation of each data between training data and testing data. The support vector machine algorithm was chosen because this method was used in multi-class techniques, because this method we use with the two class or multi-class techniques, namely one versus one or one versus all, OVO and OVA. And the last one, we calculated the confusion metric. It is a method that can be implemented to measure the performance of a classification method. And the result of our research, we do the flood disaster message from Twitter classification is based on a support vector message with the RBF or radial basis function kernel. The data set use total 3,000 data with 3,230 features. And we know that we use the stop word dictionary. There are two dictionary, the stop word dictionary one that can be downloaded from here. And the second one, we use the dictionary, stop word dictionary 2, the dictionary based on the flood data used deleting on unused information. We can found that the flood disaster message classification on Twitter has the highest accuracy with 77.87%. We already conducted 6 experiments with code of experiment 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. With the data, we use 3 data, and each of them we do the dictionary 1 and dictionary 2. The difference between the experiment 1, experiment 2, and experiment 3 that this data, in experiment 1, we only use the data from the real data, and from the second experiment, we use the data from the tree of classes data, and the experiment 3, we had already some methods for stop word removal. And we know that the highest accuracy was reached in the 77.87%. And we know that the effect of stop word dictionary use can be seen in several experiments. From this research, the stop word affected the accuracy of the classification performance. So the accuracy in experiment 1, the highest accuracy is 79.9, 76.6%. The experiment 2, the highest accuracy was 76.87%, and the experiment 3, 77.87%. And we know the database stop word dictionary is very useful because it removes meaningless words or noises. And the conclusion of this research, we know that the pre-processing data before data mining is essential in the resulting performance level. One step for pre-processing text data is stop word removal. The stop word dictionary affected on accuracy performance had been carried out. There are two types of stop word dictionary. The data-based stop word dictionary is very useful because it removes meaningless words or noises. In sentiment analysis, words that express emotion, words that indicate perceptual sense, and adjectives are also very influential for increasing accuracy. The characteristic of tweet contains adjectives. And we know that the characteristic of the tweet contains adjectives. In the future work, we are trying the SVM algorithm using OVA on multi-class for classification process to get better performance in this data. And this research result will be very useful in the future regarding the information on any natural disaster for early detection and prevention. Thank you very much.